Good morning, Amani. There I am.
Good morning.
Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. So good to see you all here. It's so funny because at 5 minutes till, this room is usually empty, and then you all just swarm right at the last minute. So I never worry. I know you all coming. All right. So we are going to stand up and sing with our musical guest today, Gary Weinberg. And Frank, my clicker got stopped, so I need to be able to click. Thank you. All right, let's wake up. Oh, and we went back to the old slides somehow.
You know, I don't look that much different than him.
Well, you got the hat,
Yeah,
you got the glasses, you got the guitar. All right, slides will get fixed. We had them right, and then I asked Frank to put something else in, so I screwed it up. But
So you're all supposed to look this way so the magic can happen over there, and everything will happen. There, oh, where? Oh, my God. No, that doesn't look like me at all. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. I'm reaching out to know the divine. I'm reaching out to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. I'm going deep to know the divine. I'm going deep to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm rising up to feel the infinite. I'm rising up to know the divine. I'm rising up to feel the infinite. Yeah, forever is already mine. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. I'm already there. I'm already home. I'm already safe in my eternal soul. Thank you.
thank you, Gary. Have a seat, everyone. Okay. All right, my clicker stopped again, guys. There it is. All right, we're going to go ahead and release the kids. They're going to go back with, who's got kids today besides you, Shai? AJ, all right. They're going to have some fun with AJ today. We will see you guys after. All right, so welcome to the Amani Center. So good to see all of you here. We like to begin every week with our vision statement, so let's say it together aloud. We are lighting the path to peace together. And that is why we're here. That's how we do it here at the Amani Center. We show up, we light that path to peace. We know it. When we're in those moments of where we're having doubts, someone else is there with us, helping us light that path to peace, but we're always knowing that something better is unfolding, and it is a safe place to be for that. A little bit about who we are: an open and inclusive spiritual community. We know there are many paths that lead to the divine. So whatever path you're on, you are always welcome here. We're so happy to have you. We're a place where you can learn and grow and just be. So we have classes, we have workshops, there's always things going on. You can up-level your transformation. We have the last week of the 4 agreements coming up this week. That's a where to start kind of transformative class. There's going to be a second half to that for anyone who's interested. That'll be coming up in May. So there's lots of ways you can do the work. We just had an amazing retreat. You know, there's ways to show up and really up level. But sometimes you just want to be, and we're always a safe and welcoming place where you can come and fill your cup. So I'm just grateful that you're here. Is there anyone here for the first time? If you're comfortable, we do have a little trifold we love to hand out. You can also see Gina afterwards to get that, even if it's not your first time, if you didn't get it before. It's got a little charm in there too. And if you're watching from home and you'd like to receive that, please just DM us. We'll be happy to mail it to you or get it to you in whatever way works. One of the ways that we show up in our in our purpose work is, and as to lead to that lighting the path to peace, is our spiritual circle, our circle of light, and that's made up of our ministers and our practitioners, and we are here to remind you of the truth of the divinity of who you are. And so anytime that you need a little lift or you need a reminder of that, you can reach out to one of us. But we are always here right after service, and it's our gift to you to sit down with you for 5 minutes and help you bring in what you want to bring in, help you put down what you want to put down, or just help you through something that might be challenging. So I'm going to ask members of the Circle of Light who are here to raise their hand. I think it's me and Reverend Donna. Oh, and we have wonderful Margie here today. So get some treatment and show. Just don't leave with the heavy stuff. Spend some time, even if you're just feeling great. Sit down with one of us. We would love to do that with you. And yeah, take a chance and while Margie's here and have some treatment from her beautiful light. All right, so I'm going to go through our announcements. We are here in April, where this is our 3rd week, so we have the amazing Reverend Donna Abadone speaking today. Yes, always so good, so wonderful. And then, as always, we close our month out with the wonderful Reverend Sherry Wynn. Our theme is rolling away the stone for April. So here's some of the stuff that's going on in April. So we are doing a sign painting party this is for the May 2nd Spring Fair. So we have, we're going to be painting signs Monday, tomorrow, the 20th, from 11 to 2, and Friday, from the 24th, from 12 to 3. The signs are all stacked up there. Kathy is she does a tracing thing so that it will be really easy. You're just coloring in the lines with paint. So they look really nice, and then we just spread those around so we get a real good turnout for our craft fair. So if you can help with that, it would be so wonderful. You don't have to sign up, but if you could just take a picture of that or know it, and then if you're able to help either or both of those, we would so appreciate it. The more hands we have, the quicker we can get it done. And we have a good time. We sit out on the patio and we chat, and it's a fun time. And it's fun to paint sometimes. It's fun to just be a little bit creative, even if you're just coloring in the lines. So wear something that can get paint on it. I always think I'm not going to get paint on myself, and that's why I have so many paint clothes now, because I turn everything into paint clothes when I do that. So, all right. We have a breathwork journey workshop coming again with Stephanie Dawn. She was here last year and very well received. So this is going to be Friday, April 24th from 6:30 to 8. It's a 90-minute workshop. She does some really powerful release work to get that stagnant energy moving, and she's an amazing leader of this workshop. So you can sign up in advance for $35 or pay $40 at the door. There's a code there, but you can also go to the AmaniCenter.org, or you can see me, or I don't know if Kathy's here today, to sign up afterwards. So do take advantage of that. She's going to be amazing. And then we have our spring cleanup. We had to change it because of that little storm we had, but it will be the 25th, so that's a week from yesterday. So next Saturday, if you can sign up to come out, I'm pretty sure we have a sign-up list. Oh, we had a sign-up list before. If you signed up before, you're already on my list, but if you'd like to add to that, see me, or I'll get that list out afterwards. There's a lot of weeds up on the hillside. We'll be potting some fresh plants. We'll be leaf blowing. Just sprucing the patio up so that it's really nice for all of starting for the spring fair, but then all the other events that come up. All right. Oh, and also for that, if you just want to throw some money towards buying plants, that's good too. If you can't show up, we'll be happy to take that. Next week is Potluck Sunday, the last Sunday of every month, always. So bring a dish to share, or just show up and have lunch with us. There's always plenty of food. And then we have a few things coming up for May. On May 1st, that's the night before the spring fair, we have our full moon gathering. We'll do it out on the patio because this space will be all set up for the fair. So show up for that at 6:30. That's just a love donation. And then our wonderful spring craft fair, Saturday, May 2nd. I think people have been sharing it. I know Kathy asked you to do that. Share it on Facebook. Share it in any socials you're doing. Tell people there's still some flyers back there. You can take a flyer if you have a place you could hang that, and then please show up and shop or help volunteer. I know Kathy's still looking for some volunteers. I know Joe, who was going to be my pancake guy, he needs to go down and help his daughter. So if anyone feels particularly skilled at pancake making, I could use another. Oh, did I just see a pointing back there? Oh, okay. We'll have something else you could do. Pancake making is a little bit of a skill, and like it can be like, you can get them all and think they're perfect and they're raw in the middle. But if anyone would like to help with that, I'll be leading that. I would appreciate it. Let me know. And then we're going to be do some grilling later too. I signed you up for that, Frank, by the way. I forgot to tell you. Oh, and here's the class I was talking that's coming up. So this is the Science of Mind and Metaphysics Bridge to Four Agreements. So this is the second part of it for anyone, especially who wants credit for the class going towards practitioner, minister, or something like that, or someone who just wants to go even deeper into this. This is a great class. It is a year one class. Anyone can sign up, and Reverend Pixie will be teaching this. So this starts on May 6th, and will be in the space on Wednesdays, 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So if you took Four Agreements 1 and you want to take this part, or if you just are interested in this, sign up, and this will be another way to just go deeper and transform yourself. All right, just another reminder that I went backwards. That's my fault. All right, we have an acting workshop coming up with Melanie Smith, and Melanie's going to come up and talk about this a little bit. This is going to be May 31st. Melanie, come on up. This is, for anyone who doesn't know, this is Gary's beautiful wife, and I am going to give her the floor.
Wow, we're used to projecting, so if I blow your ears out, please let me know. So do any of you think of a movie where an acting performance just blows you away, stays in your heart? Have you wanted to tap more into that, learn more about it, or maybe you had an acting background that you'd like to step a little bit back into? I'm going to do a workshop here Sunday, May 31st. My name is Melanie, and with my master's in theater and 45 years experience directing acting in the equity, professional, and community and conservatory arenas, I am passionate the most about teaching it. So in this workshop, we will do body work, focusing, meditative, lots of voice work, and then move into acting technique, and actually end with a scene, a very short scene. So if you have an interest, no experience needed, but the last thing I'm going to say is, the more I have worked down the path of acting and directing, I have come to not just be curious about, but know for sure that acting is also spiritual in a number of different ways, and we'll touch upon that too. So if you want to come and have fun, it's a safe, supportive, fun environment. I'd love to have you. Thanks.
Yes. Thank you, Melanie. Sold me. That sounds super fun. All right. So again, that is May 31st, and you can sign up online, or you can sign up here. We'll get a sheet set up for that. So that's it for our announcements. The one other thing I did want to say, and I tried to get a slide in last minute with the picture from Yosemite, but we had an amazing retreat in Yosemite this past week. Had 13 folks from Amani show up. We stayed in a beautiful home. We saw the waterfalls, the flow. We did some processes out there in nature. It was wonderful, and it's something that we will be bringing back. That's going to be an annual thing. So just want to encourage you we're going to start doing something. We're going to do something in the fall too. It'll be somewhere else. I'm thinking Redwoods. I'm thinking of going north in the fall, Redwoods Coast or something. So thank you to everyone who showed up for that. It was just a heart-opening experience, and I'm still kind of blissed out for that. All right. If you haven't already silenced your phone, please do so, and I'm going to go ahead and bless the service. So this is our opportunity to just kind of go within. So if it feels comfortable, you can allow your eyes to close. Receive a deep cleansing breath in. As you just feel yourself dropping in to this space, this sacred space that is at the heart of you always and connects you with this community, with everyone, with all beings, with the planet, and with your source, whatever you see that as, whether you call it God or science or nature or the universe, whatever you know to be that energy that created you, that lives you each and every day, you are one with it, and it is here for you, and it is here for all of us. And so I know that that energy is infusing today's service with everything that is needed and perfect. People who showed up will receive exactly what they're meant to receive, each and every one of you. And whether you know it or not, you're giving what you need to give, whether it's a smile or a hug or just a comment you make to someone when you're chatting after service that they needed to hear and you don't even realize it. So thank you for showing up with that openness, that willing to give, that willing to receive. We have to have our hand open so that we can give and receive and be in that flow. And I'm so grateful for each and every person here because this is what makes this center what it is. It's community. It's each and every one of you bringing those gifts. And finally, I'm so grateful that this place that we call the Amani Center exists as a place we can show up and be loved and give love and laugh and find joy and find upliftment and transformation and learn and grow and also just fill our cups. So with great gratitude, I release this word into the line. Know that as I speak it, it is done and that all is truly well. And together we say, and so it is. All right, we're going to do our affirmation. We will say it 3 times. The first time we say it with energy. The second time we bring it down to a whisper. And then the third time, just join me mentally as I speak it aloud. All right, let's begin. I look for the thing that is my foundation. I cherish the thing that keeps me grounded. I look for the thing that is my foundation. I cherish the thing that keeps me grounded. I look for the thing that is my foundation. I cherish the thing that keeps me grounded. And together we say, and so it is. Today's affirmation is from Reverend Donna Appadone. All right, so we're going to have another song from Gary. He's going to lead us into our meditation.
I want to recommend my wife's workshop. I took it, and then I married her. So if you take it, you're going to want to marry her. But that's too late. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a man like me. I once was lost, and now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Though many dangers, toils and snares, I have already come. 'Tis grace hath brought me safe thus far, and grace will lead me home. When we've been here 10,000 years, bright and shining like the sun, we've no less days to sing God's praise than when we first begun. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a man like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. see.
And now we're going to do some meditation. So allow your eyes to close if that feels comfortable for you. You can also just allow your vision to blur. And just again receive that deep cleansing breath into your lungs, filling your belly, bringing you to this divine instant where we turn and open towards the amazing grace of all that is. Whatever you think of when you think of amazing grace, you can know that it is grace for you. Grace for you to show up in your life in all the ways you show up, even the ones that don't look as pretty as the others, even the times when you're less proud. That's what grace is all about. It's knowing that we're always doing our best, and sometimes our best looks a little different, but it's not a judgment on who we are. The most important thing is that we keep showing up, we stay open, we keep putting one foot in front of the other and taking that next step, and just doing our best. So now as we go into some silence, into our time of meditation, I encourage you just to be open to really feeling and accepting that amazing grace in your heart for yourself, but also for others, because everybody else is just doing the best they can as well. So wherever you feel you need to allow that, just allow it to come in, and just take a few moments in the silence. Enjoy your meditation. Now, before we come completely out of this divine state that we're in, let's take a moment for a healing prayer, an affirmative prayer, for anyone who is feeling any sort of stress, pain, discomfort, depression, anxiety, fear, hopelessness, isolation, loneliness. We turn our hearts, our minds, our focus to our oneness with all that is, with spirit, with the divine, with nature, the universe, whatever word we use. That energy that flows in as and through each and every one of us, and which created all that is. And what we know is that this divine energy is abundant. It is perfect health. It is perfect love and joy and community and compassion and empathy and equity and kindness and peace and justice. And so when we turn towards this, energy and say yes, the good is already there. We say yes to it, and we remember the truth of who we are and of who all of us are, all of humanity, all of our human family and our animal family and our planet family, all that lives and breathes in this existence is being held, guided, loved, supported by this divine energy. And so in just a moment, I'll ask you to speak aloud the name or names of the people, the situations, the places on the planet where you want to just really shine this loving, healing energy of wholeness. And in this way, we will lift these people, these situations, and we can include ourselves always. And we will shine that loving light upon them and be part of the transformation, that transmutation for something that feels heavy and dark to something that is the truth of who we are and that is light and love. And it's not spiritual bypass. It's not pretending that the hard stuff doesn't exist, but because it definitely does, and we're seeing it now. But it's reminding ourselves and those who are going through it and all of the consciousness, the grace consciousness that we live in, that we are divinely held and led, and that we can turn things over to this divine energy, knowing that it will answer that which we are putting out in prayer. So right now, go ahead and speak the name or names of these people, these situations, these places that you want us to shine this healing energy on together. And I just feel the energy in the room growing as all of these individuals in these situations are showing up in consciousness here, and we are shining our loving, healing energy upon them, knowing the highest and best for them. And when we know that for them, we can't help but receive it ourselves. And this is how we're walking through it and healing the planet. So with great gratitude for each and every one of you showing up and doing this work, and a knowingness that we can know the truth and not have to know how it unfolds. The how is for the divine. I just release this word into the law, knowing that it is done and that all is truly well. And together we say, and so it is. All right. We're going to bring Gary back for another song.
I can't drive here without them, but I can see the paper with them. Life is a fascinating experience, isn't it? So this is a song I have sung here more than a few times. Oh my God, it's right up there. Every day, the imaginator. Sing that with you and with me. Feel it if you want to, if you can. Why not? What do you got to lose? Hey, hey, hey. I'm a creator. Every night and every day, the imaginator. Hey, hey, hey. I'm a creator. Every night and every day, the imaginator. I am an artist. Life is my canvas. I am a sculptor with a big old piece of marble, and God says chisel and paint my masterpiece. Sing, dance, write a book, build a bookcase, plant a garden, teach somebody to read. Just dream, dream, dream. Then treat and move your feet. Hey, hey, hey. I'm a creator. Every is my kitchen where I make something delicious. Life brings the spices and me, I just get to make wishes. And then I mix them all up and cook up my masterpiece. Shake and bake and roast and toast. Whatever is the thing you want to do the most. Just dream, dream, dream. Then treat and move your feet. Hey, hey, hey. I'm a creator. Every night and every day, the imaginator. I said, hey, hey, hey. Oh, I'm a creator. That's what you're saying to yourself. Every night and every day, the imaginator. I am the imaginator. I am the imaginator. Sing it if you feel it. I am the imaginator. I am the imaginator. I am the imaginator. Thank you.
Are you done now?
So you shouldn't say that because that's like a cue to keep going.
I should know
But
better.
for you, for the amazing
The
Donna
amazing-
Epidoni, I am done.
The ADA. I love working with him. It's so much fun. It's always a good time. And I'm glad you bring Melanie with you when you do too. Yes. She jumps in the car. You know, what are you going to do?
That's it. Yeah. She also knows where we're going most of the time.
That helps. I'm glad she brings you with her. Good morning, Amani. How are you? I was thinking on the way here about a saying that I heard for the first time when I was in high school, so like 2 centuries ago. Every April, God rewrites the book of Genesis. I love that. It's something about spring that just makes us feel so good. And we live in a unique place. If you think about it, we get to celebrate spring several times. We get to celebrate it in the valley, we get to celebrate it in the foothills, and then the mountains, and then along the coast. So we've got several opportunities to rewrite this book that's all about everything that's around us and how magical it all is. We think of spring as this time of baby animals and flowers coming up and budding trees. Of course, the theme that our ministerial council put together for the month of April is Roll Away the Stone, which makes sense because we were thinking about Easter. Obviously, Roll Away the Stone makes sense, but I'm going to take a slightly different approach. If you notice in the fine print of the title of my talk, it's Roll Away the Stones with an S at the end of it. A slightly different approach, but not for the reason you may think, roll away the stones. It's not that I can't get no satisfaction, because I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried, and I've tried. Not those stones, that's not really what I'm going to talk about. I've always had this attraction to stones and rocks, I really have. I even had a pet rock when those were in vogue many, many years ago. And maybe the appeal of stones is because of some of the indigenous beliefs in the places where I grew up on the East Coast and in the Great Lakes region. Some of my early lessons I felt like had to do with those people and what stones meant to them, the First Nations in those areas. We used to think of some of the mounds, especially the ones in the Midwest. We used to think those mounds were burial grounds, and now we know more about them. Now we understand that they're really not dissimilar to Stonehenge. They were about ritual. They were about alignment of things. They were about praising something that's bigger than ourselves. So that's always been a very special part of my life and something that I'm really attracted to. A couple of years ago when I was cleaning out my parents' home, who knows why my mother kept this? I found a box of stones that I had collected when I was in 3rd grade. So this goes back a while for me. I looked through this box and I could remember every single stone. I could remember where I found it. I could remember that feeling when I saw it and I picked it up. It was just reliving that time in my life all over again and the magic that stones give. But I actually remembered even younger than that, at maybe 4 or 5 or 6, what stones meant then. They were putting in a freeway behind our house. So our magical dead-end street became a construction zone for a couple of years, sort of like 50 in Sacramento. It took a while. Every evening, my dad would come home from work and he'd say, let's go for a walk. And we'd walk over to the area where they were putting in the interstate, and I'd find these stones. Of course, he was looking as an engineer. He was looking at what they were building and how this was going to come together and what the machines were doing. And I was looking at these stones because I was 5 years old and I was closer to the ground. So that made sense in a lot of ways. But I can still picture uncovering little white stones with sharp edges and little streaks of purple in them. I have no idea what those were, but I can still picture them. And the magic of finding those, I'd never seen anything like those stones. And I picked them up. We also had a stream running behind our house. Between the house and what was to become the freeway was a stream running right through the backyards. And as kids, we were not allowed to play anywhere near the stream without parental guidance, but of course we did anyway. We weren't supposed to go there, but we did. And I still see that stream in my meditations. It's still, I just saw something online this morning that I swear was video of that stream. It was just so clear in my mind. Might be the most peaceful thing that I remember from that time of my life, with the dappled sunlight coming through the trees and the guppies and the little tiny frogs and little tiny turtles that were about the size of a silver dollar. These little tiny animals. There were boulders that we could sit on to watch the stream, but I was more interested in getting down in that clear water and touching those stones. I spent a lot of time at that age looking at how the water bounced over the stones. You know how that happens? And it makes that special little tinkling sound. It's just so pure. And to a 5-year-old, it was just so magical, and it still is. And then I found out that I could move stones and redirect the direction of the stream. Oh, wow. So all of that was just so amazing to me. It never failed that a little stone or a little rock might find its way into my pocket. And I would take it home and I would put it on the dresser in my bedroom. And now that I look back at that, I realize I was making an altar. I didn't know that at the time. Oh, yeah, pretty cool. Okay. I was still a kid when we moved to the Great Lakes region. And my dad, one of the first things he taught me, we went over to the shoreline, and the first thing he taught me is how to pick up a flat stone and how to throw it so it skips across the water. It's like, oh, yeah, another thing that stones can do. Isn't this cool? The Great Lakes area is so interesting because the lakes themselves and the St. Lawrence Freeway, the St. Lawrence Seaway, are the result of seismic activity. They're the result of an earthquake, basically, and then formed out of that. And because of that seismic activity, you get things that are completely unusual and completely unexpected in terms of the stones that you see. Red and green stones next to each other on a beach. Red and green stones that shouldn't be together at all, but there they are next to each other. And of course, they're worn down by the water. They're worn down and they look very soft on the surface. So it's just a wonderful thing, and clearly a geologic phenomenon, but a reminder of what happens when you cross cultures and when you cross activity and those things mix, and you get that magical appearance of stones that wouldn't normally be together. I recently heard somebody say that stones are the only things on Earth that aren't alive, and I had a problem with that. Scientifically, I think that's probably true. I'm not a scientist, but I can see from a scientific perspective that maybe that's true. Maybe they are the only things on Earth that aren't technically alive, but they're a lot more. They're a lot more. They're a lot, the history. Just think about the history. Every stone that you come across anywhere at any time was here before anything else. The stones that we're seeing now were here from almost the beginning, barring seismic activity. You know, there was some of that along the way, but they were certainly here long before we were, long before anything walked this earth. And every stone that you can come across was witness to some profound historical event. Next time you pick up a stone, say, where have you been? What did you see? Because it's amazing. I took a couple of geology courses in college. It had nothing to do with my major, but it was a chance to play with stones, and it was really fun. And then I had an opportunity to be part of a couple of archaeological digs, one in Ohio and one in Arizona. And that same thing, you know, you find these bones, you find these stones, and you say, this history, what is this? What is this all about? Not too long ago, I was reading what Edgar Cayce had to say about stones, because I have this thing about Edgar Cayce. He wrote and talked mostly about gemstones, which I found kind of disappointing. I wanted him to talk about little stones that I liked, you know, but he was talking about fancy gemstones. But he had so much to say about the color of gemstones. And they match the chakra colors in a lot of cases. So I want to tell you a little bit about some of the things that he said, not just the geological history, but also some of the spiritual connections. And some of these are not directly his words, but through studying what he had to say, some of these other attributes of stones came to light. And I mean literally came to light. The first one I want to tell you about is garnet, which is said to have such a brilliant light within it that no secret can be around a garnet without being revealed. Think about that for a minute. So much light that you cannot have a secret around a garnet. That's fascinating stuff. And it's also said historically that when Noah needed light on the ark, he chose a garnet just for that reason. So these stories have been around forever. People have been talking about stones and trying to explain the stones forever and ever. Aquamarine associated with light too, and a favorite of sailors. Oh, here's the thing about aquamarine. Back in the Middle Ages, they thought that if you chewed aquamarine or if you sucked on aquamarine, I don't know why you'd want to, but if you did, you would have the power to summon Satan from hell, and he would answer any question you had in mind. I found that totally unnerving, so I was glad to keep reading and find out that onyx has the power to contain tempers and bad moods. Oh, good. Because after that whole devil thing, I really needed to settle down a little bit. Turquoise represents human spiritual origin over physical nature. A lot of people wear turquoise. Now I know a little bit more about why. And just one more of these, because last year, a year or so ago, I found out that my family had some history working in opal mines near Ukraine. So, and this is like 1700s, this is like way, way long ago. So I wanted to read about fire opals, and here's what I found out through Edgar Cayce about fire opals. I'm gonna read the quote so I don't get it wrong. Fire opals create a closer alliance and harmony between spiritual and mental natures. The opal arouses one's innate understanding, a clear awareness that leads to purification. It's by means of this clarity that one may become a channel for manifesting spiritual truths for others to learn. Doesn't it make you want to just go out and buy an opal? Unfortunately, those particular mines in that part of the world, in Ukraine, dried up like 100 years ago, so we have no way to prove this. But I like the idea. I like the idea that a stone, any stone, but especially an opal, might have that ability. The fascination I talked about with as a child with stones obviously has not diminished at all as I've gotten older. I still have it. When I travel, I carry stones with me. And I pick some usually out of the American River because it's close to where I live. And I take the littlest ones I can find because they're going to be in my luggage. I take one for every place I'm going to go. And I drop one off in every country I visit. Or if I'm within this country, because it's so big, in every city that I visit. Or maybe every state. You know, they're measured out that way before I go. And then I pick up a stone from everywhere I go, and I bring them back, and I put them on my altar at home. And if you were in my home, you would see on that altar, it's just a big bunch of stones. Someone in my family asked me how I label the stones, and I laughed. Just label the stones? No, this is an altar, it's not a museum. I don't need to label the stones. It's all about the energy of them. But I love that exchange of energy from places around the world. I leave part of me there, and I bring part of them home with me. Stones are the foundation of everything, under every tree, under every stream, under every lake, under every ocean. There's some form of stone. We can't get away from it. It's really all around us all the time. First Nations had specific stones also for specific reasons, but because stones last such a long time, a lot of First Nations look at stones and see ancestral wisdom. Yeah, ancestral wisdom. In Jewish culture, we place small rocks on gravestones. At the grave site, but often actually on the headstone, for a couple of reasons. It's a sign of respect and remembrance. You won't see flowers as much as you'll see stones. It's a good tradition, and you'll see it there. Little stones, because stones endure. You can put a stone on that grave site, and it'll be there forever. It shows somebody has visited the grave, and that the person buried there is remembered, and that memory of the deceased will last as long as the stone lasts. It's also a good reminder that in death, we leave behind what we had as material goods in this life, and that we return to the earth, and that person's spirit, like that stone, is forever. In India, the stone is used at the funeral pyre as a way to finish what needs to happen at that point in life. And it's a sacred tool in that culture. In Chinese culture, stones are part of feng shui, one of the elements that is used to design and enhance energy, design our surroundings and enhance energy. In Japan, stones in gardens, they're always there to show balance. You know how that is. Stones are used to balance our energy, balance our chakras, to heal us, and to manifest something new, to manifest new realities. Stones are used in all of this. And just look at our mountains. Look at any range in the world. We look at the mountains and we call them majestic. Majesty is a word that's rarely used for anything other than mountains and God. That's how highly we revere stones and rock in our lives. From the tiniest pebble to the greatest boulder, rocky ridges under the ocean, wherever we go, stones are our foundation. Permanence, strength, something old, but something that we can revive again as well, representing the passage of time. A building material. Stone being used as a building material. Stonehenge and other stone circles. Why? Because they last. Because they will be there long after we are. The Egyptians did not use wood to build the pyramids. Stones have always been used as, not, we don't see it as much here, but in other countries, even back east, we see stones as an important building material because they're going to last forever and ever and ever. Stones keep us grounded. I know it's a bad pun, but I had to say it. Stones keep us grounded. We see rock piles on a hike. I see rock piles on a hike and I say, good, my people have been here. This is so excellent. I have a stone that I brought with me today. This stone was painted by Herschel Mitchell. I love this stone. And when he handed it to me, I said, another stone person. Yay! Because we know each other. Some of my former students have given me stones. They didn't even know I liked them, but they like stones, so they gave me stones. Wow. There's that connection between people who have this love. And the thing about stones is that they are not as unmoving as they seem. So there are a couple of lessons as part of this talk. The stone itself is hard, but what happens with that stone shows some flexibility. When it's worn down, when water flows over it, stones can adapt, and so can we. Even though a stone can be used to heal, it can also be sharpened and used as a weapon. It might even kill someone, just like our words. Stones can be polished into precious gems that grace crowns and expensive jewelry, or they can be sharpened to cut, just like our attitudes. Stones and rocks can be part of a beautiful landscape, or they can be part of a landslide, something very dangerous, something that will damage so much of what we see around us, just like our lifestyles. Stone can be carved into something beautiful or something ugly, just like our worldview. We can learn a lot from stones. In Christianity, rolling away the stone, yes, that had to do with Jesus. In psychology, there's a different kind of stone that's very weighty. It's that thing that we carry around with us that we haven't unloaded yet. But once we do get rid of that emotional boulder, we feel so much lighter. So rolling away the stone is part of our metaphysical resurrection. We can rise up when we unload it. But out of all of that, I still go back to the First Nations. That's the part of it, the perspective that I love so much, because rocks are regarded as sentient, living grandfathers, as record keepers. They're viewed as the first created things. Think about that the next time you kick a stone. It's the first created thing. It's filled with history. Rocks are our homes, rocks are our healing, and they're part of the traditions that we have after we're gone, a big part of that. So what do we do with these stones? Well, you can make an altar like I did at my house. You can travel around with them and exchange the energy as I do. You can use them for healing. You can use them as part of a spiritual ritual. There's no end to what you can do. You can just make a rock pile to represent balance in life and maybe feel a little bit more balanced after you have done that. You're going to find your own way. But I want you to promise me that you will not take rocks for granted. Do not, I know, for granted, right? Do not take rocks for granted. Because they really are the foundation of everything. They really are the basis of what we do. So instead of hugging a tree, why not go out and hug a stone? Really, you could do that. Today, you could find a stone and hold it, or a boulder and hug it. Why not? Roll away with a stone. A new way of looking at that. I do have just 2 more bad puns. Reminding you that stones will give you satisfaction. Reminding you that stones do keep us grounded. And in fact, I can go one step further and say they will rock your world. And together we say, and so it is. And so we allow it to be.
Thank you, Reverend Donna. What a perfect talk for those of us who just came from Yosemite. Frank, can you bring that picture up again? Yeah, Frank, I'd asked Frank to bring the picture up before, and he was trying to figure out, okay, what do you see behind us there? A giant rock, and that whole thing, when you stand in Yosemite Valley, you look up at the walls that are just the rock walls on either side, moved by a glacier, I don't know how many millions of years ago, and then it's just such a magical place. But that is our group out at Yosemite, and we did hug rocks, we climbed on boulders, we grounded many times, and it was magical. So thank you, Reverend Donna, that was wonderful. And the water, that's our jar of water there that we did a ritual taking it from the Merced River, and then at the last day we did more ritual around it and then returned it to a 3,000-year-old redwood in Mariposa Grove, which is said to be the oldest tree in Yosemite. So, all right, you can bring my other slides back. And again, thank you, Reverend Donna. It was a great talk. And yes, we are your people. We have stones and rocks all over our house, too. So now is our joyful time of giving, our time to support the Amani Center with our gifts and tithes so that we can keep doing the great work that we do here, bringing our wonderful speakers, our musicians, having this space to come together and be a community in. There are lots of ways you can give, and there is this code right here for Venmo. All the white seat backs have little cards on them that have codes as well. You can set up a recurring payment from your bank so that you just know whatever you'd like to give every week or every month is coming out. And of course, we're going to pass that basket. You can drop whatever you'd love to drop in that basket. And then also, the AmaniCenter.org has a donate button. Our newsletter will always have a donate button. However you give, we just so appreciate it, and we appreciate you. So we're going to pass those baskets, but we are also going to have Gary sing his final song for us. So take it away, Gary.
I can't get no. Thank you, Marcy. And Donna Epidoni, that voice has been in my head since we've come to Sacramento on the radio every morning. Sunday, was it Sundays typically, or was it every morning?
Weekday mornings.
Weekday mornings.
Weekday mornings.
Never forget
every
it.
morning.
I can't get no satisfaction.
Hey.
Yes, I know that God is all there is, but I admit sometimes the trouble is to see myself part of that sacred place and to reach deep in my soul and feel God's perfect grace. But I'm getting closer every day. All that I feel and think and say, I may not always know the way, but I know I'm getting closer every day. Yes, I know that God is everything, and that is why I gotta stand up here and sing about a life I want so much to live, when I know deep in my soul I got a lot more to give. But I'm getting closer every day. All that I feel and think and say, I may not always know the way, but I know I'm getting closer every day. And when I get out of my own way, I'm as big as the sun. And then I know there's room for everyone. Yes, I know that God says yes, and that God I know will never make me guess. So here I stand, arms open to receive, when I know deep in my soul it's done 'cause I believe, 'cause I'm getting closer every day. All that I feel and think and say, I may not always know the way, but I know I'm getting closer every day. 'Cause I'm getting closer every day. All that I feel and I think and I say, I may not always know the way, but I know I'm getting closer. Yes, I know a wee bit closer. I'm taking baby steps, but I'm closer today.
Thank you, Gary. All right. On behalf of the Amani Center and the Circle of Light, it is my great joy, my great honor to receive these gifts and tithes, knowing that they are pressed down and multiplied, that they go back to bless those who give them, and they go in to bless the Amani Center, and they go out to bless the world. And together we say, and so it is. All right, thank you. All right, let's bring those kids up and hear about what they did today. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All right, AJ.
Hi all. So today we took the kids into the play area back there and we read a little story called I Believe in Me. It was a story about having self-confidence and being loving and caring and nice to others, as well as to yourself, which is super important. Then we drew pictures about how things we believe might make us brave or things we just think are brave. And then we all did the affirmation, which I don't have enough hands right here. The affirmation right here, guys. Remember that one? Let's all read that.
Wait.
Right here, this line right there.
I love myself for bravery. I'm going to step out of my comfort zone and try something new and love myself for being brave.
Great job, guys. Gorgeous pictures. All right, find your people. Thanks, AJ. Thanks, Shai. All right. Well, let's stand and sing our closing song. You can hold hands. And I do want to say I forgot the last 2 weeks to have us stack most of the chairs. So leaving these two middle sets, two, so 4 across the middle. If you guys would help me remember that, because they have yoga in here, and then they have to move it all. So just help me when I forget. We do want to move those pretty much every Sunday. All right. I don't think I have anything else to share, so let's just go ahead and sing. The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. And I will meet you in grace. I will meet you in grace.
You may have noticed on that last slide that Gary bills himself as the New Thought rocker. Go out and hug a stone today and love every minute of it. Together we say, and so it is.